many more places in between. Today's guest will talk about her passion for photography and share some of her own work from both inside and outside the classroom. The Humanities Mass Communications Department at Norwalk Community College presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. Now join our host, Brian Carter, to meet the new director.
Thank you for joining us for today's edition of The New Directors. All the people involved with this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, controlling audio, operating cameras, and acting as talent for the first time today. The guests you're about to meet on the show are students who, when they're not behind the cameras, are behind the scenes working hard to bring this program to you with as few mistakes as possible. Each student has written and directed 4 productions. This program will give them a chance to talk about themselves and the productions they have created, and give you a chance to get to know them and enjoy some of the work they have done during the semester. Our guest today is a photographer and an inspiring filmmaker whose passion and curiosity has led to exciting places around the world. We would like you to meet today's guest, Brook. How you doing, Brook?
Good, thanks for having me.
It's great to have you.
Thanks.
So, we know you have a background in photography. Can you tell us a little bit about where your photos have taken you?
Yeah, definitely. So I think I first started realizing I was really passionate about photography when I was about 17. At that time, I just graduated high school and was really unsure of what I wanted to do with my life and where I wanted to go. A lot of my friends were headed off to college and they had really set career paths, and I just wasn't there yet. So I decided I was going to go ahead and take a gap year. And looking back, that was definitely one of the best decisions I've ever made. I was kind of scrolling around on the internet looking at different programs I could do and came across this sort of like work-study type program out in the Caribbean on a boat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I immediately jumped at that and packed my bags and I moved out there and lived on a boat for a year. And I sailed around the Caribbean and I worked really hard and I learned a lot about myself and about the world, and I started taking pictures. And I look back at that whole phase of my life as sort of like an experimental phase where I learned, underwater photography, started experimenting with longer exposures, and really discovered how passionate I was. So by the time I came back home and my parents kind of sat me down and said, okay, like that was great, are you gonna go to college now? I kind of wanted to keep that going. I was grown really accustomed to the island life. So I decided I was gonna move out to Hawaii, and awesome. So I moved out there and I started going to school and working, and I started really fine-tuning some of my photography skills, and I bought myself my first professional camera and just researching and learning everything I could possibly learn about photography. So I have some of my favorite photos I would love to share with you
We'd love to see them.
From the past few years. So this one is actually from Hawaii. It's a really beautiful hike along the Nepali coast of Kauai. Just one of the most breathtaking views I've ever seen. This one was actually taken out the door of a helicopter. This is over a reef in Oahu. It's called Kaneohe Bay.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, this one, a nice little waterfall in Kauai. I love this one because you can see the rainbow on the water. This was actually a really big waterfall. It was almost 200 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
I met these little guys in the Caribbean. They actually swam right up to the boat that I was living on. You can see my friend in the background. She's actually diving with them.
Oh, okay.
Here's a really beautiful hike along the coast of Oahu. You can actually walk from the west side all the way up to the north shore.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, really beautiful.
It looks like it.
Here is Lanikai Beach. It's one of the most famous beaches in Hawaii. You really can't take a bad picture there. It's just postcard perfect.
Beautiful sand, huh?
Yeah. This is a really cool sea cave that a couple of my friends and I found on Kauai, completely by accident, just exploring one day and stumbled upon it. Another really great hike in Oahu. It's overlooking the famous Waikiki Beach. It's called Diamond Head. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who goes out there. I met this little guy on the North Shore. Here he is. I was actually feeding him seaweed. He swam right up to me. I love that photo because you can see the water coming out of his nose. This one, another one of the Nepali coast on Kauai. I took this from a boat, and it's actually one of the most erosive coasts in the entire world. It's just always changing because it's eroding. A nice waterfall on Oahu. I like this one because of the long exposure. Thank you. And finally, just a little sunset. In the horizon, the little mountain line is right where I used to live. So, yeah, that's
awesome.
it.
Seems like we had a really exciting past couple years.
Yeah, I have.
So, can you tell us why you decided to take the TV production course here at NCC?
Yeah, so when I got home from Hawaii, I wanted to finish up my education locally, and I looked into NCC, sort of scrolling through the course catalog, and I came upon this class, and I mean, it was everything that I wanted to be doing right in my ballpark. I love TV and I love movies, so it's kind of a no-brainer for me, and definitely a good decision. I'm very happy with the course.
Awesome, I'm glad it's working out for you so
Thanks.
far.
Yeah.
So what are some of the most useful things so far you have learned in this course?
As far as skills go, everything that we've learned so far in terms of pre-production, all of the prep work, which I didn't really realize before coming into this class, that there's just really so much prep work that goes into making a production. In the past, I think I've had ideas in my head and I've kind of just gone for it and not really taken the time to like write out my thoughts and make a storyboard and a shot sheet. And I've just kind of gone for it, and sometimes I'll forget things or leave things out. And with the skills that we've learned in this class, I've been able to get through these productions and fill out my field shot sheets, and it's just made the editing process so much easier and really gotten me in a good spot with my productions.
Awesome. I guess you can see yourself doing this in the future, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So with these with the four productions that you have completed so far, the Student Studies, the Cup of Tea, the Fall in New England, and Where is My Orange? Can you please tell us about a few of those projects?
Yeah, sure. So the Student Studies was my first project, and I think I definitely learned the most from that one. This is my little brother, Joey. He's going to be in all of my projects, by the way. For me, I struggled the most at first with sort of visualizing what my final product would be, because we were shooting these out of order and through different camera angles, so it was hard for me to wrap my head around what the final project was going to look like. With this one, after I'd gotten all of my shots together and put them into Avid and started to string all of the pieces together, is finally when I picked up on all my continuity errors and was able to really adjust them for my next project, which was Cup of Tea. And in this one, I feel like I really worked out all my kinks, and I think that this one, I was actually really proud of this one. I actually sat down with Joey and we watched the Student Studies together, and we went over, the importance of repeating actions for long shots and close-up, and making sure that, everything added up in the end. And after seeing Student Studies, he was more excited about it too, and that made me more excited. It was a lot of fun to do this one.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Next up was my nature project, and I had just a blast shooting this one. It was like right up my alley. Here's the first of, I think, one of my 3 Poor Man's Dissolves. I shot this over the course of about 2 months, just at a bunch of different places throughout Connecticut, and I think another place in Rhode Island as well. And yeah, I just had a blast shooting this. It's really what I love to do, just like being outside and capturing moments in nature is what I'm really passionate about. So
yeah, they're beautiful shots.
Thank you. And last but not least is my orange project. This one is still a bit of a work in progress for me, but here Joey is playing a somewhat socially awkward male character who, in one way or another, falls in love with an orange. Here he is reading the morning paper and looking down lovingly at his orange. And as the story progresses, he meets a woman and falls in love with her and realizes, the orange is just an orange.
Right. It seems like it's awesome that your brother would help you out with your productions.
Yeah, he's great.
Keeping the acting in-house.
Yes, he's...
So out of all those that we've seen, which one do you feel like is the best work you've done so far?
I would have to say I felt the best about my nature project. I remember the first day of class, we were going through the syllabus, and I saw that we had, a Fall in New England project, and I almost jumped out of my seat. I was just so excited. I knew that that was going to be my project. And I actually started filming this a little bit earlier in September, before we were assigned, because the leaves were changing and I was just so excited I wanted to get out and start. A lot of these were filmed around Fairfield at a couple of lakes near there that I always like to go to, really beautiful places to just walk around and be with nature. A couple other, like I said, were in Rhode Island. I took a weekend trip up with my boyfriend and we bought my camera and took some shots. Yeah, and it was just a really nice experience. It's exactly what I want to be doing. So this is actually one of my favorite shots. I just love the symmetry of the sand and the ocean and the sky. Here's another that I really like, the reflection of the leaves on the lake, and then finally a shift focus of some plants.
Was that Southport Beach in Fairfield?
It was, Bering Hill.
Okay, it looked familiar for some reason.
Yeah.
But you mentioned a variety of different things you've learned in this course so far, like poor man's dissolve, shift focus. What is the most interesting to you that you've learned so far, and how will you put it to use in the future?
Yeah, definitely. As far as the skills that I've learned, I mean, I'm just forever grateful for everything that we've learned in Avid. As far as post-production editing, like, I've always had these ideas in my head and never really a way to bring them into a production, and with everything that we've learned so far, I'm just finally being able to like bring my ideas to life. On a more grand scale, I think that this class has really opened my eyes to a whole new world of moving images, which, like, I mean by that, I've been focused a lot in the past on still images and just capturing, one moment with my photos, and this class has just like opened my eyes to a whole new world and like moving images as an art form. So I'm definitely forever grateful for that.
Awesome. It sounds good to hear.
Yeah.
So today we got to meet someone who shared her passion for photography and film. As a new TV director, she hopes to apply what she has learned here at NCC to one day guide her into the career in production. She also plans to use her new knowledge from TV1 to create new and exciting projects. We would like to thank Brooke for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It was great to have you.
Thanks.
And we hope you enjoy meeting one of television's future directors, and we hope you will continue to join us each week to watch our progress. Thank you and have a great day.
This has been The New Directors with your host, Brian Carter, directed by Miguel Juarez. I'm your announcer, Brian Garcia. The New Directors is a Norwalk Community College student production.